Hi everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new here. Welcome back to my channel if you're a returning viewer or subscriber. I'm really excited for today's video because it's another vlog and I've come up with what I think is an original video concept, which is really fun. Reading vlog, you know, nothing original there, but I was in bed scrolling through Amazon, as you do. If you're new to me, if you're new to my channel, you wouldn't know this, but I originally used to read a lot of fantasy. That was pretty much the only genre that I would read, and there were so many fantasy books that I wanted to read back then that I didn't get around to reading. So I was scrolling through Amazon trying to find these old fantasy titles because I've really been craving fantasy lately. I feel like I've been reading a lot of kind of contemporaries, lit fics, romance books, things like that. So at the top search bar I looked for fantasy books, and a lot of the titles I did see were ones I'd already read, but I thought what would be a really fun video idea is if I typed in fantasy books on Amazon like I did before, but this time I scrolled down until I found one that I hadn't read yet, and then we read that in the video. And so in a way, Amazon is choosing what book I read. There you go. If this video works out and you enjoy it, then I feel like we could do a series where I typed in like romance book or thriller book, things like that, and see what the algorithm decides. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get the same entries as I did when I looked this up because it has been a couple of weeks since I did that. We shall see. For this video, I'm going to need my phone and I'm going to screen record so that you can see what we're up to. I'm really like nervous. I'm scared what I'm going to get. I don't really want to buy a title, so ideally we want a book that I already own. Of course the internet's not working. You know what, maybe we'll just ignore that. Okay, so I'm going to type in fantasy book search. Okay, I'm switching it over to 4G because this is not working. Fantasy book. Then we're going to scroll down. And I don't want to choose one that's been sponsored because I don't want like a seller to be individually kind of pushing a book. Oh my gosh. The first non-sponsored one is Fourth Wing. This is actually perfect. This is perfect. I'm actually wanting to buddy read this book with Lucy from the channel Lucy Rose. I'll have her linked down below. This is amazing. What do we have below? Some John Gwynne, that's classic, like epic fantasy. We've got some J. Christoph, that's another sponsored one, another sponsored. Six of Crows, already read. Nevernight, I actually do have a physical copy of that we could have read. I've already read the Shadow and Bone box set. The Luminaries and Threadneedle at the 6 I own a copy of. And then we have the sequel to Fourth Wing. This is amazing though. So Amazon is pushing that we read Fourth Wing, which makes sense because as it says, it's been a bestseller. So yeah, I'm really excited though. Can find out whether the hype is real or not. Yeah, so we're going to be reading Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I actually have already put in little tabs here because Lucy and I want to read like 70 pages a day. So even though I didn't film a September TBR, I knew this is a book that I wanted to get to. So this is actually so perfect. I'm so excited. Thank you Amazon for aligning with my personal ones. Even if you kind of do suck because you used to own Book Depository and then you took it away from me. One of the worst days of my life. This is a book we're going to be reading. I'm so excited. I didn't really know anything about it other than that it's an epic high fantasy and it's got dragons, and I think it's new adult. Here's my little gift note from Lucy. Lucy actually gave this book to me for my birthday. Okay, I'm going to read the description. It's really long, so buckle in, buckle up, buckle in, whatever. Welcome to the brutal and elite world of Basquiat War College. 20-year-old Violet Sorengale was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now the commanding general, her mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. Yeah, so I think the thing is that our main character Violet was training as a scribe, and then her mother was like, no, you have to be a rider, like a dragon rider, like the rest of the family. But I think that Violet actually suffers with some sort of chronic illness, which means that she's not like physically suited to riding. So I think that's going to be a really interesting exploration. And I also know for a fact that the author herself has a chronic illness, so I think this own voices rap on that. I think that should be a really interesting element. I don't think I've ever read a fantasy book that features chronic illness. I could be wrong on that. Maybe Six of Crows is a Kazbrecker because he walks with a stick, and I think Lee Bardugo, the author, does too. But this is going to be like, I think, quite a present theme in this book. It doesn't say what the author has. Reading on. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chance of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter. Like Xaden Ryerson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant, she'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. So I have a feeling Xaden is our love interest, which I know people go feral for this man. He kind of gives me Reese vibe from Akatar from what I've seen. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Everyone at Basquiat has an agenda, so sleep with one eye open, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. That's written on the front too, and I always thought that was kind of cringe, but I mean, it does really seem like that's the truth. This place seems to be quite brutal. So that's the Fourth Wing. I'm so excited. I want to see what this book's all about. I want to know. I want to be in on it. And I know the sequel's coming out really soon. I think in October or November or something like that. This is what we shall be reading. Because I plan to read this book anyway and also vlog the process. Am I in focus? I have already done a poll on Instagram where I asked people if I was to potentially vlog this process, which I obviously will be doing now, whether they wanted to see a spoiler vlog or a non-spoiler vlog. For the sake of this being, you know, an Amazon Picks My Next Read, I want to make it accessible to everyone, so I think I'm going to do non-spoiler. But I also did give the option of spoilers at the end, and so I think that's the route I'm going to go down. So I'm going to do a spoiler-free vlog, completely zero spoilers, and then right at the end I'll have like an obviously marked section in the video where I tell you all my spoilery thoughts as we go throughout the reading process, so that you can get kind of the best of both worlds, and yeah, everyone can enjoy the video. But that's it, that's all. Drop the note, but let's start reading Fourth Wing. So excited. I was having a fit today, but I thought it was about time I give an update on Fourth Wing because it is day 2 and I need to read my next few pages, and I don't feel like I can really do that until I discuss my thoughts with you. So I got to page 69 last night. I read the first kind of allotted section of pages, and so far, to be honest with you, I am just absolutely having a headache trying to read an adult high fantasy book. I can't remember the last time I read one of these, but the level of confusion I'm having is similar to what I had when I started House of Earth and Blood by Sergio Mas. It's just the classic thing. It takes about 100 pages to get into a fantasy. By the way, if you hear like this whirring sound, my laptop is attempting to export today's video, so that's what that is. What is great about this book is that in the hardcover edition there is a map like literally on the pages of the, what do you even call this? The end papers? There's also a map of the school a couple of pages in, which I think I probably should tab so I can refer back to it easily. Those two things are honestly saving my life. And usually I'm just like, oh, a map, so cute, so pretty, I love the art. No, it's really good being able to kind of study them. Finally getting to a point where I'm starting to understand things. There are kind of trials in this book in order to get into this like riding school. Our main character can become a rider, but she's gone through the first task and she survived it because she is our main character. This book is so brutal. There's something I will say, much darker than kind of anything I've read recently. I have in the past read a lot of YA fantasy, so maybe just adult fantasy. I'm like, whoa, but like there are so many deaths, so many injuries. Some of the descriptions are quite hideous. So today I've read one chapter. I don't really have any spoilery thoughts yet, but like I said, all spoiler thoughts will be at the end of the video. I think I've got 63 pages or something to read today, so I've still got a few more left. On page 77, and I'll read to page, be good if there was a number at the top of the page, 133 by the end of tonight. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's good. It's just like a lot. I was trying to speak to Lucy about this as well. I was like, I don't know how to describe this. There's nothing like friendly about this book. And like obviously it's a war college, like what was I thinking? But like only once the romance starts is there going to be any kind of, you know, any kind of nice thing happening, because currently it's just like her trying to not die, which, you know, I guess that makes sense. So there's two male love interests, right? We've got Zayden and then we've got Dane, whatever his name is. I don't like Dane. I don't know whether this is just because Dane gives me Gale vibes from the Hunger Games, as in like he's pretty but he's boring. Every single time he has an interaction with our main character, I'm like, no. The other thing is that like they're meant to be best friends, but so far we're not getting much in their past about like the thing that kind of bonds them. I don't know. There's little hints of her looking out for other people. 100% doesn't have to do, and in general people being quite ruthless, and that kind of shows you what her character is like, which is like how she became friends with Rhiannon. She's got this injury, she's walking down the corridor and she saw someone else who's injured and she like gave them a smile, which I mean is just like a tiny thing, but like just being friendly when, you know, everyone else is literally trying to kill people. I've never read Divergent, but this is giving me Hunger Games vibes, which I'm not mad about. But it doesn't read very fantasy, it feels kind of dystopian, but then there do happen to be literal dragons hanging around. Friends, ignore my bare face and my wild hair, but I'm on chapter 13 of Fourth Wing, which means I'm on page 155. I didn't read to my pages yesterday because I was busy. I had a friend over and I also had a headache like the whole day. It was making me feel sick. I'm catching up on yesterday's pages and I'm going to read as much as I can of today's as well, depending on how much time I have and whatever. But the last chapter was insane. The first proper meeting with the dragons, and the characters had to just like walk past the dragons to see if the dragons would like be interested in them, and they couldn't show any weakness. They also had to interact like politely and like in a relaxed way with other like squad members. And these kids are wild. There was no like being cautious. They were just being like so kind of catty. They were all fighting. They were being so rude. They were like making fun of the dragons and all this stuff. But yeah, the dragons, I just love them so much. There's been like a little bit of a plot twist with them, and I have an idea, like a theory about what's gonna happen, but like, ouch. I just scratched myself on the chin. It's over these last like 2 or 3 chapters that this book's like really gotten good. I think I'm like coming to understand the hype. I think I'll probably update you when I get to the end of yesterday's pages and give you some more thoughts then. I look so olive. It's because I'm wearing this primer. It's an amazing primer. It's like a sun cream, but it like seeps through your skin by the end of the day. Please someone tell me why I am binging YouTube videos. I'm watching Lacey's video, so it's acceptable, instead of reading this book. Please. I'm a day behind on my pages. I haven't done yesterday's pages that I'm meant to be doing today, which is going to make me 2 days behind. So I 100% need to read. I'm enjoying this book. I just like there's so many good videos in my subscription box, like struggle. I also realized that I said I'd give you an update about this book. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I need to gather my thoughts. Oh, my French. For right now, I'm gonna go and read like a lot of pages. Monday. I think the last time I audibly updated you was, I don't know what day it was, about 120 pages ago, which is like way too much. But I have 2 excuses. One, I've looked like this for the past few days, which is not great, but you know what, I've just reached a point where I don't care because I need to give you an update. And 2, the book is really good. I can't bring myself to kind of stop and like go through my thoughts in order to give an update because I'm just really wanting to keep reading, which is a really good thing. Obviously, like, as much as I'd love to have the content for the video, it is just proof that I'm really enjoying the book, which is maybe better for you. Don't know. It definitely has similarities to the Occult Thorns and Roses series. If you didn't know, that's my #1 favorite series ever. This is some of my favorite ever books. They were all 5-star, like 6-star reads. But if you're arguing that Cult Silver Flames is part of the series, then that was a 2.5-star, but we won't go into that here. And while I'm loving it, it's definitely feeling like a 5-star. Like it has felt like a 5-star since about page 80. It's not like a 6-star. Like it's great. It's so good. I can't even think about what I would do to improve it, but I don't have the same connection with it as I did with the Avatar series, because this is meant to be a 5-book series, which is crazy. I went into this thinking it was gonna be a trilogy, but if it's a 5-book series, I'm sure like the latter books could be 6-star like quality. Anyway, that's my opinion on like how I'm feeling about it. In terms of what's happened, so much. One thing that I really like know to give this book is that the pacing of it is immaculate. There's always something happening in the plot. There's never a moment where the kind of intensity of it drops off. It's just like so full on, but kind of in the best way possible. So on page 347, in theory I should have 2 days left of this read from this point. It's currently 1:30 on Monday, even though I've read like about 50 pages today already. Today I should read my next kind of set of pages. So get from page 347 to page 423, and then tomorrow I should get from 423 to the end, which is 498, which is doable, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll finish this kind of Wednesday at some point. I can do it. It's gonna be good. I barely read anything yesterday. I just got like way too tired. Yeah, I just need to go to sleep basically, but I'm in a reading mood today. The plot's getting so good. Also, like I said, I've been buddy reading this with Lucy, who actually gave me this book for my birthday. So sweet of her. I still am not over that. And she is way ahead of me. She's on like 420 or something. She was behind, then I was behind, and then we kind of caught up with each other, and now I'm behind again. One thing that she has said is that on page 363 or something like that, I don't know if it's a plot twist or just a moment in the plot, like an addition to the plot, it just like blew her mind, and she said it's so good. So that's what I'll be reading today, because that's only about 20 pages, less than that. Why do I want to read that now? If you've seen the spoiler part at the end of this video, I don't know why you would have watched the video in that order, but whatever, then you would know. Right now I'm going to give you a little tour of all the dragons that I own, because weirdly enough I have a little dragon collection. I just love them. I guess maybe we go in order of when I got them. I had a screen cake, I had this bit of scorched land around this guy in the center. He doesn't have a name, but if you follow me on Bookstagram, then you already know about him, because I shared a picture of him when I posted about Fourth Thing. I think of him like, no, I'm so sorry. He didn't even fly to his own safety. He's like, I was about to say spoiler. No spoilers. You know, in like The Goblet of Fire, the 4th Harry Potter book, you know, one of their tasks with the dragons, when they pick out their dragons in the movie, they get given like a little miniature dragon. It's the same in the book. Actually in the book Harry gets to keep his, and I think of them as being like about this big. So he sits on top of my Harry Potter books. Next up I have this little stone dragon, super fragile, and he's actually a gargoyle, which you can see in the city of Oxford in England. But he's a little sleeping dragon. He's so precious, and he sits on top of my books. Actually, you know what? Let's move him to the Akatar series, which doesn't make sense because there's no dragons in Akatar, but it's next to Throne of Glass and there's a dragon in that, so we're fine. Then we have this guy. I got him 1 year for birthday or Christmas. He's hideous, but that's why we love him. He has sparkly wings. He cost about £3 in some random toy shop. He is called John because my little brother named him, and don't even get me started on that. Then we have this one, little Welsh dragon, because it's the Welsh flag. Probably technically has a name. Griff. That's hilarious. Because like in Fourth Wing, the two like sides of the war, dragons in the land I'm wearing, and then the other land has griffins. So calling a dragon Griffin is kind of interesting. I got him in Wales. John Jr. That's his name. Again, that's one of my little brother's things, so don't even worry yourself. And then lastly, our newest edition, I got this for my birthday from my bestie, and we've already witnessed this one. And this guy is so cute. He actually smells glorious because a friend who I got it from sprayed him in perfume. Oh, he has a name. He does have a name. I don't remember it. I'll put it on the screen. I'm so sorry, but he's a little baby and he's so precious, and he's got these little like butterfly wings. So there you go. There's my dragon collection. Besties. The little one will actually probably sit next to Fourth Wing as soon as I finish that book. So yeah, that's it. That's my dragon collection. That was a very long clip, but I thought you deserved to see it. Why do I think I have more? I definitely don't. I love dragons. Okay, good. Page 353, which means the big reveal is happening in less than 10 pages, and my heart rate has gone up. Like, first of all, we're getting so much good Xaden content, and second of all, Like, I'm shaking, I'm so excited. This book is really good.
Did you want iced coffee?
Instead of the tea? That's right. What the heck? Oh, that's sad. Okay. That's sick. Stop. Chills. Actual chills. I need to calm down. This is such a random point that I didn't think I'd ever be talking about. There's been the first kind of like spicy scene, like properly spicy scene, and Xaden goes on about this whole thing about how like, I don't want you catching feelings, and I was like, dude, you're like snuggling her in bed as you say this. It annoys me. He's so obvious, and what's amazing is that Violet can actually see through his defenses that he's trying to put up. What I wanted to talk about is that I love the fact that she like has some self-worth, basically, which I mean I could probably learn from this, but so he's been really annoying, going on about, I didn't actually care for you, like it was just sex, you know. And she's like, he really does have an incredible body, but he doesn't get to dictate what I do with my heart. Love that. Then over the page we have, I deserve more than a relationship that's only on his terms. Like, yes. The age that this is like targeted at as new adults, I feel like these are really important things to be including, because maybe at this age you kind of lose the kind of desperation to get someone, and you actually have the time and like the space to be able to kind of like pick and choose what you put up with. Weaving these narratives into a fantasy book, especially one that's like lots of fun with the dragons and the fighting and like ridiculously attractive characters and everything like that, but like even still she's hurt by his words. She also knows that she can withdraw from him, which I really appreciate. Really random point, really not like anything I've been mentioning before, but I just thought that, you know, I haven't really read a book where these things have been discussed. Being able to stand up for the fact that you deserve more in a relationship is really important, and like it'll honestly teach me so many things. Welcome to Tuesday, friends. I've been doing a lot of YouTubey bits. Busy day, really warm day again, and I'm stuck inside editing and filming videos the whole day, but I love doing it, so it's fine. I have less than 100 pages left. I'm on page 407, which means I have like under 90 pages to go, which is really exciting news, exciting updates. In order to get to where I want to be, like for sure by the end of today, I want to have read page 423, but I do want to definitely finish the book by tomorrow. So today I filmed and edited my Wednesday video, which is an awesome TBR. Check it out if you haven't already. On Saturday I'm going to try and have this video up. I'm away on Thursday and Friday. I'm going to London to see some friends. I feel like I'm going to be rushing to get this video done, but you know, I can do it. It's not something I haven't done before. If you want a book update, it's still good. I can't really say much because spoilery stuff, but there's a lot of kind of like relationship drama. The ship has sailed, if you know what I mean. The actual like scary fighting plot has like laid off a bit, but I feel like it's going to get really intense towards the end. Lucy's actually already finished the book, and that's what she's told me so far. So I'm gonna go finish exporting my video and sit outside and read and soak up some sunshine before it all disappears and we are thrust into the depths of winter. time. We just had a massive plot point on page 439. I've just given my little spoiler section update. The plot is like, oh, it's so good. Like I don't know what to say because I can't say anything because it's all spoilers, but there's been a twist and I actually predicted the twist. I think I had this great theory that I like explained in the spoiler section, and then there's just been a twist that like plays in with my theory, and so I think I'm right. So good. Look hideous because I've just done my skincare and I'm getting ready for bed, but I have like 60 pages left and I think I'm gonna try and binge the rest of the book. Ow, I keep injuring myself. I just hit my collarbone. Okay. Books go down. Something pages from the end, and I'm officially DNFing this book. I can't take it anymore. It's too much. Obviously joking, but also obviously having a mental breakdown. There was a character death. I thought this was a character we were gonna have for the whole series. Apparently not. Nothing is too much in this book. That last chapter was like 30 pages long, and it was insane. Like my emotions are everywhere. Okay. But this book is so, I can't even explain what this book is like. It's like, this world is huge, like the intricacies of this plot and the characters and everything like that. Just my brain, emotionally, physically, spiritually, I'm going through it right now. And then there was just this massive dramatic last line to that chapter, so just watch the entire cast die. I don't know. Last night I finished Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Yay! I'm gonna give my final thoughts in a little bit, but I thought it would be fun to put in all my tabs because I did annotate this book fully. I'm completely caught up with like pen annotations. I need to go through the whole thing and put in tabs. Why I didn't do it earlier, don't ask me, but it's actually good. Might be fun to do like a little montage. You think I might try and time lapse it, and yeah, should be really satisfying by the end because spoiler alert, but I gave it a high rating, so it's a loved one. I'm gonna run out of this color tabs, this dark blue, because never in my life have I used my dark blue pen so much. That's my like shock, surprise, like what the heck pen. And this book was just like packed full of those. I'm gonna do this, put the tabs in, film the outro, get the video up for you guys. Let's go. Guys, my tabs are so out of control. I actually need to be stopped. Like I'm just over halfway and I don't think I've ever tabbed like this much in my life. Every single time I think I'll put a tab there, I have to be like, listen dude, like do you actually need a tab here? And every single time I'm just like, yeah, I do. This is me limiting myself with my tabs, and they still look like this. Turns out I am a literal psychopath. Look at this. What the heck? Like that's not normal. Alright friends, it's wrap up time. It's time I gave you my thoughts on Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Here she is in all her glory, completely annotated to the nines. Like, I know I've already showed you this, but seriously, crazy stuff. I think you would have already kind of been able to gather from the video that you've seen so far that I really love this book. Really happy to tell you that it is a 5-star read. Finally, I know we're all cheering because the last 5-star read I had, I've had 3 5-star reads first of all, I feel like I should say, but the last one I had was in April May, June, July, August, 4 months. Over 4 months since my last 5-star read. It means that we went an entire season without having one. But anyways, thankfully, Fourth Wing took one for the team and became my 5-star read, which is amazing. So exciting. Also, can we just talk about how wonderful it is to be falling back in love with fantasy? Because like I said throughout this video, I used to be such a fantasy girly, and this book made me like want to continue picking up the genre. I mean, I want a break from it for now. I just picked up this modern classic, Nadia by Andrea Breton, which is on my TBR for the season. Check out the video if you so wish. But Fourth Wing has made me want to pick up a lot more fantasy in the future. My inner fantasy lover is just like thriving on that fact. The idea that this book was the thing that sparked that is just so wonderful. Like I said throughout the video, it's not like a 6-star read, but it's a very solid 5-star. I loved pretty much every single thing about it. I wanted to quickly go over some thoughts before we wrap up the video and I get on to spoiler territory, because that's going to be happening straight after this outro. First things first, I feel like through a lot of this video I kept going on about how brutal this book is, and I just want to clear things up and say that the stakes are very high. It is quite kind of cutthroat, but there's not too many kind of on-page gruesome descriptions. We have a lot of battle scenes, we have a lot of character deaths. There's not much talk about blood and guts and gore and things like that, which is kind of much appreciated. Rebecca Yarros isn't holding back from anything, but also the purpose is to show you like how tense these battle scenes are, not to like gross you out, if that makes any sense. You do have those scenes, you do have those character deaths, you do also have fights in this book towards the end. I think we have about 2 or 3 scenes, probably on par with what we see in the latter A Court of Thorns and Roses books. So this is definitely spicier than Akatar, the first book. A tiny bit spicier than other books in the series. It doesn't crop up every 5 seconds, and the plot continues alongside the spicy scenes. It's not just like we put that all aside while we can focus on the relationship with this book, which I really appreciated. The other thing is this book is marketed as a romantasy, which is a fantasy that prioritizes the romance kind of subplot, or because it is like the romance plot with a fantasy subplot. I would actually disagree. I think this is very much focused on the fantasy, and the romance actually takes a little bit of a backseat. We have that kind of tension between the 2 main characters throughout the first like kind of half of the book, and then there are those couple of scenes, but the actual kind of plot of the book is kind of front and center. Again, I really enjoy it, and I am a character driven reader, but I really liked how I could kind of appreciate this book even though it kind of focused more on the plot than it did the romance. If chronic illness is something that's like a factor of your life, of your daily life, I feel like this book could be great. Obviously you can't speak on it because I don't have a chronic illness, but there were little bits that I kind of like picked up on and underlined and tabbed, where Violet like mentions her chronic illness and she plays into the strength that she has. A lot of the strength that she has is about her courage and her kind of mental strength over her physical strength. And even though Violet was this kind of like little teeny tiny character who was in love with this like 700-foot man who's like really big and bulky, which is very much like a trend within fantasy books, particularly new adult books, her frailty is something that we kind of understand through her chronic illness, and it's not like a quirky little trait about her. It's just like something that she knows she has to deal with. She's much more familiar with pain than other people, which means that she actually almost has that to her advantage, which is really interesting and really beautiful to see depicted within fantasy, like I said. This book has so many plot twists, so many moments which actually made me laugh, which I also love to see. It's just a book that you kind of fall in love with the characters. I grew quite attached to them quite quickly, and we do have a big cast, but you can kind of wrap your head around it. Annotating definitely helped this book. Having the maps at the front of the book and the back of the book really helped me read this book as well. Someone I follow actually said that this book could be a good book to read if you're like starting to get into fantasy, and I would personally disagree with that. While the pacing is very good and that's something that, you know, can keep your attention, I think there is a little bit too much to try and keep up with in order for this to be kind of like a starter fantasy book. I would recommend YA books. Books like This is Crow's Geology and the Book of the Air series over this one if you're starting to get into fantasy. And I would also recommend the A Court of Thorns and Roses series if you want to kind of bridge into something like this if you're interested in it. But those are my thoughts on Fourth Wing. I had the most fun reading this book, filming my reactions, everything like that. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up because that's how I can tell. And I know this video has been a long one, so without further ado, I will leave you and I'll see you literally in a couple of days for another video. Bye bye. I did have one piece of spoiler information I want to speak to you about, and that is that the death of that boy, what was his name, Daniel or something? Am I making that up? Whatever. I don't know. So she made friends with Rhiannon early on, and then she's made friends with that boy at the same time. And what the heck? That was so brutal. The way that he got killed off in like 0.5 seconds. And the fact also that she traded shoes with Rhiannon, but so she didn't look at the boys. And I think he died because he was in the wrong footwear. I don't know, that was kind of like mad. So Xaden and a few of the other guys are hanging out while Violet's in the tree, having just collected like berries to use as poison or something. And she thinks that he could be up to something bad, but her breath hitches at the intensity of his voice. She's down bad already. I've got rid of my fringe because my hair was driving me insane. So basically, like how the dragons can talk through the bond, kind of like in Court of Thorns and Roses. Sorry to bring that up all the time, it's just like that's where the similarity is. It means that the dragons can communicate with Violet whenever they want to, 24/7, and they can read her thoughts and everything like that. And she's currently in the archives, is it? Yeah. She's feeling a little bit of homesickness because obviously she was trained to be a scribe. She like did a lot of stuff within the archives, and now she's visiting as a rider, and she's like, this is kind of sad. And Dana, that's her nickname, right? Yeah. I still don't know the dragons' names because they're confusing for me, but anyways. The little golden dragon interrupts her thoughts and says, you are sad? And Dana asks, her voice soft. Like, imagine like when you're feeling down, you have a little person like caring in your head. That would help fight your like negative thoughts so much. I wish. And she says, just visiting the archives, no need to worry. But like, I love that. I love the bond in Akamath. That's something actually in A Court of Silver Flames that I missed hearing about. But in this book, like, we're getting so much of the bond, and because obviously it's the only way that the dragons can communicate with the riders, but I love it so much. It's like no surprise to me how dragons can get really depressed when their riders like die. Like, not to use the same word, but like they're so bonded. Jump scared to me looking like this. Violet's just been her ribs are bruised, and it says, and Dana scurries between scales, I don't pronounce this, claws, galloping towards us. She skids the last dozen feet, paws digging into the ground to stop just in front of me, bringing her nose to my ribs. Is an urgent sense of anxiety fills my head, swamping me with feelings I know aren't mine. In my mind, Andana looks like this, but golden, obviously. Oh, I know they're meant to be terrifying, but they're so cute. We've just found out that Andana is a baby, which means she literally looks like this. Don't even try and tell me otherwise. Today I got stung by a ladybug, which I didn't even know could happen. But I mean, you learn something new every day, don't you? Right, spoiler section, because I have a theory. It's been a while since I spoke to you. There's not too many like spoilery things I really feel the need to discuss right now, even though it's been like quite a few pages since I last spoke to you about something spoiler related. Got a really itchy leg. I went and sat outside in the grass, my legs are so itchy. I have a theory, which is probably totally wrong, but it involves discussing some spoilery things. And I want to have this documented in case any of it is right, like in the slightest. So throughout the book we've been getting hints about something kind of like sus going on the border. Like, it's not just usual attack. The border seems very unstable and all the wards are breaking or whatever. And we know that that's being hidden from students in Battle Brief, in the Battle Brief class. But on top of that, there's things that are like going missing or not being mentioned, which I think is partially because they don't want to scare the kids, but like they don't do much else to protect the kids. So I feel like, I call them kids, but like they're 21 or whatever. I just mean like first years. But I feel like there's something kind of sus going on, which obviously there is, but I think there's something like very sus going on. And my theory is that, where's the books? I need them up. Oh gosh, it's so far. Okay, my theory is that we have these two warring, we have this divide in the continent, and we have these two warring sides, Navarre, whatever, let's call it Navarre and Poromiel. My theory is that Poromiel are the goodies, and Navarre, while they've been painted as like the innocents in this battle, I think they're going to be bad. Which means I think that in future books, Violet is going to fight on the side of Poromiel. Why are these names so hard to pronounce? I need to actually look up the pronunciations. It's just like a tangent. I'm really surprised there's no kind of like pronunciation guide. Which means I think that in the future books, Violet will have to be fighting against her own mother, because her mother's the general, obviously, or whatever. Like, she's in charge, like, to an extent. And I think she'll also have to fight against Dane, and I think that will be like the big thing that eventually like pushes them apart for real. They've just won the competition and then they've gone to like the front lines and then been sent away because there's a griffin attack. And so if her sister doesn't die in the next chapter, then I think she might recruit her sister to her side eventually, maybe. I don't know. I just like have a theory that Navarre is not as like innocent in this whole war as much as they seem. This whole thing will mean that actually what Xaden's parents or his father, whatever, did, even though it resulted in the death of Brennan, Violet's brother, I think their cause will actually have been a better one in like rebelling against the country. I don't know. I don't know what these are called. I guess it's a country. I have no idea what the Barons will do. But yeah, that's my crazy theory. I'm probably completely wrong, but I just thought, you know, it could be fun to chuck some things out, because I know that throughout like fantasy series I read, particularly high fantasy, there's so many little Easter eggs, particularly within the first book, where the author's kind of planned ahead for the series and is like setting things up for the next books. And so it's been really fun to kind of create these wild theories. I don't know, I'm just like really looking into every single thing I can see in order to maybe predict some of what is to come, just for fun. The things I do for fun. It's like I'm a nerd. That's it, that's all. This is so random, but I was going to give you a little dragon. Actually no, we'll do this in the non-spoiler part. The fact that Violet's signet, her ability to use lightning, is triggered by her being turned on. Are you for real right now? Guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, so basically, page 439, so close to the end. I look really weird because I've done like my skincare and whatever, and I've pinned my hair back, and then I've got this massive like lamp. I think my theory is correct. Wait, what should like not be correct, but like that plot twist? Violet's just been taken by Xaden. She's decided to trust him for real this time, and they've gone off to go to this place on the border, which by the way is not even in the blooming map. Like, I have scanned this thing twice and I've gone through every single thing. Like, I'm either missing it or it's genuinely not marked, and it's annoying me because it's a big location in the book, so why is it not marked? Anyways, while they're there, she's like having a little kiss with Xaden, and then Griffin riders show up and Xaden says to them, "You're early." This feels like when I guessed who the murderer was in Crescent City in House of Earth and Blood, and then it was proven to be true. This is so exciting. It's like 9 o'clock and I have like a good 60 pages left, but I kind of want to finish this now. I'm getting like really excited. I feel like the plot has been like progressing throughout the story, but I feel like the overarching plot is starting to like come into play now, and it's just so exciting. Chapter 35, chapter 34, then 35. Dane betrayed them.
Liam. Why can't she like zap him with some electricity and like start his heart again? Like cry off on my eye cream.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. There was this line that was like, she wants to get him to see his sister, and then she says he deserves it after all he's been through. When someone's dying you think that, but actually like, this boy did nothing. He's just an angel. He was truly like one of my favourite characters. I'm so sad. You know? This is so sad. Can I just stop crying? Apparently not.